For more stories from the Twisted Jester, please subscribe. Also please click the thumbs up button. Thank you. Chapter 1, Bucktooth Beauties. The rain-soaked streets of Noir City set the stage for another dark chapter in the life of Private Detective Sam Colt. His trusted partner, Detective Murphy, walked by his side, their footsteps echoing through the damp alleyways. A series of murders had gripped the city, leaving behind a trail of bucktooth prostitutes, their unique smiles forever extinguished. Colt's fedora cast a shadow over his rugged features as he examined the crime scene, his sharp eyes taking in every detail. Murphy scribbled notes furiously, capturing the essence of the grim tableau before them. The victims, each with their own peculiar charm, lay lifeless. There was Betty, with her crooked teeth that seemed to dance in harmony when she smiled. Sally, whose buck teeth gave her an endearing charm. And then there was Lucy, whose pronounced buck teeth could brighten the gloomiest room. The rain-soaked pavement glistened as Colt crouched down next to Betty's lifeless form. He couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness for these women, marginalized by society, only to meet a gruesome fate. Their distinct features had marked them, making them easy targets for a twisted killer. Murphy's voice broke the silence, his tone filled with empathy.
These buck-toothed women didn't deserve this, Colt. We need to find the sicko responsible and bring them to justice.
Colt nodded, his jaw set with determination.
We'll comb this city, no stone unturned, no bucktooth left unexamined. We owe it to these women to find the truth.
As they surveyed the scene, Colt's gaze caught sight of a worn photograph clutched in Betty's lifeless hand. He carefully extracted it, revealing a young girl with a radiant bucktooth smile. The resemblance to Betty was striking. It was clear she had cherished this photo, holding on to her innocence amidst the darkness of her world.
Betty had dreams, just like anyone else.
Colt muttered, his voice tinged with sorrow.
We'll make sure those dreams aren't forgotten. We'll find the sicko who took them away.
With the weight of the case pressing upon them, Colt and Murphy knew they had to unravel the mystery that surrounded these women. They would dive deep into the shadowed underbelly of Noir City, following each lead, no matter how twisted it may be. Their journey had just begun, and the path ahead was paved with danger, deception, and the quest for justice. Chapter 2, The Dentist's Web. Colt and Murphy's search for the elusive murderer led them to the city's dental community, a complex network of gleaming tools and masked professionals. The distinct obsession with bucktooth prostitutes narrowed their focus, leading them to a man named Dr. Benjamin Klein. Dr. Benjamin Klein, a respected dentist, appeared to have an unhealthy fixation on bucktooth women. His office, adorned with paintings of women with exaggerated dental features, served as a chilling homage to his twisted infatuation. The walls were a tapestry of unsettling art, each canvas showcasing women with teeth that defied the norms of beauty. The exaggerated buck teeth, elongated and pointed, seemed to reach out from the paintings, casting an eerie atmosphere upon the room. The flickering light accentuated the shadows dancing across the walls, intensifying the sense of unease that permeated the space. It was clear that Dr. Klein's office was a testament to his unsettling fixation, an unsettling shrine that raised questions about the depths of his obsession. Posing as potential patients, Colt and Murphy entered the dentist's lair, their senses on high alert. The sterile smell of antiseptic filled the air, mingling with the tension that clung to their every breath. Dr. Klein's hands moved with precision as he examined their teeth, his eyes gleaming with a disconcerting fervor. It was as if he found a morbid fascination in the very characteristics that marked his victims. Colt adopted a casual, friendly tone, masking his true intentions. He engaged in small talk, seemingly innocent inquiries, and carefully crafted questions that didn't overtly reveal their suspicions. With each exchange, Colt and Murphy hoped to gather information without alarming the dentist.
So, Dr. Klein, you must have seen a wide range of patients in your practice. Any memorable cases involving buck-toothed people?
Dr. Klein's eyes flickered, a brief hint of unease passing through his features before he regained his composure.
Yes. Buck teeth. They do present unique challenges and opportunities for cosmetic dentistry.
Colt raised an eyebrow, carefully gauging the dentist's reaction.
What fascinates you about buck-toothed individuals, Doctor? Is it the challenge of correcting their dental alignment or something more?
Dr. Klein's gloved hands paused, his gaze locking with Colt's. The air in the room seemed to thicken as silence hung between them. A glimmer of something darker danced in the dentist's eyes, a flicker that sent a shiver down Colt's spine.
Detective Colt, I believe beauty comes in many forms, even the unconventional. Buck-toothed individuals possess a distinct charm, a unique quality that sets them apart. I find it intriguing, from both an artistic and scientific perspective.
Colt's suspicions grew, but he knew they needed solid evidence to connect Dr. Klein to the murders. They bid their farewells, their minds racing with the certainty that Dr. Klein was their prime suspect. But they needed undeniable evidence to bring him to justice. As they left the dental clinic, Colt turned to Murphy, a determined glint in his eyes.
We can't let Dr. Klein slip through our fingers. We need to find concrete proof linking him to these murders. Let's dig deeper into his background, his patients, and any connections he might have to the victims.
Murphy nodded, his face set with determination.
Colt, we won't rest until we have enough to bring him down. The buck-toothed women deserve justice, and we're going to make sure they get it.
With their plan in motion, Colt and Murphy set out to unveil the twisted web woven by the dentist. The rain-soaked streets of Noir City couldn't wash away the darkness that clung to their investigation. They were determined to expose the truth, even if it meant delving deeper into the madness that lurked behind Dr. Klein's professional facade. Chapter 3: Unmasking the Mad Dentist. Determined to expose Dr. Klein's dark secrets, Colt and Murphy executed a daring plan. Disguised as patients once again, they returned to his office, this time with a hidden recording device to capture the dentist's true intentions. The sterile atmosphere of Dr. Klein's office was suffocating, the air heavy with anticipation as Colt settled into the dental chair. He adjusted the hidden recording device concealed in his pocket, ensuring it was ready to capture the damning evidence they sought. As Dr. Klein donned his gloves and mask, Colt's heart raced with a mix of anxiety and determination. He knew that within this room, the truth would finally be revealed, unraveling the twisted web of the mad dentist's mind. Dr. Klein leaned over Colt, his eyes gleaming with a manic intensity. But something was different this time. Something unnerving. Colt's gaze locked onto the dentist's mouth, and his blood ran cold. There, behind Dr. Klein's surgical mask, were buck teeth, protruding, crooked, and unnatural. They glistened in the harsh light, each tooth a testament to the madness that consumed the dentist. A surge of realization flooded through Colt. Dr. Klein was not just a crazed dentist with an unhealthy obsession. He was living out a demented fantasy, taking on the persona of his buck-toothed mother. And now, in a twisted act of defiance, he had become her. Colt's voice caught in his throat as he tried to compose himself.
Dr. Klein, what in the world is going on?
A chilling smile curled on Dr. Klein's lips, his eyes filled with a deranged mix of devotion and madness.
Detectives, let me tell you a story.
He began, his voice trembling with fervor.
I was raised in a world of prostitutes, all with buck teeth. My mother, she was one of them.
As Dr. Klein spoke, his words painted a grim picture of his upbringing. He described a childhood spent in the presence of women with buck teeth, their laughter echoing in his ears. But with each meal they shared, the sound of their chewing, particularly when they ate corn on the cob, became unbearable to him.
One fateful night, as they feasted on corn on the cob, something inside me snapped.
Dr. Klein continued, his voice tinged with a mix of remorse and madness.
I couldn't stand it anymore. The sound and the sight of those teeth gnawing on the cob. It was an abomination. I swore to myself that I would dedicate my life to eradicating that grotesque sight.
Driven by an obsession born from trauma, Dr. Klein pursued a career in dentistry. He honed his skills, learning every technique and method to mold teeth into perfect alignment. But the deeper he delved into his profession, the more he became fixated on the very attribute he despised, the buck teeth that haunted his memories. And now, sitting before Colt and Murphy, Dr. Klein had transformed himself. A long-haired wig framed his face, mimicking the appearance of his buck-toothed mother. The grotesque sight of him masquerading as her sent shivers down the detective's spines. Colt and Murphy exchanged glances, their eyes reflecting a mix of disbelief and determination. This twisted revelation only fueled their resolve to bring Dr. Klein to justice and put an end to the reign of terror he had inflicted upon the buck-toothed prostitutes. With their guns drawn, Colt and Murphy took a step closer to Dr. Klein, their voices stern and unwavering.
Dr. Klein, you're under arrest.
Colt declared, his voice laced with a mix of revulsion and determination.
Your deranged obsession has cost innocent lives, and it ends now.
But Dr. Klein, in his twisted delusion, lashed out, his buck teeth gleaming in the dim light as he lunged towards them. A fierce struggle ensued, the room filled with the sounds of desperate cries and the clatter of dental instruments knocked aside. Through sheer tenacity and a shared commitment to justice, Colt and Murphy managed to subdue the mad dentist. They bound him tightly, ensuring he would never harm anyone again. As the police arrived to take Dr. Klein into custody, Colt and Murphy stood in the now silent office, their chests heaving with exhaustion. The room held the weight of the horrors they had witnessed, the grotesque truth now exposed. The bucktooth enigma had been solved, and Noir City could finally breathe a sigh of relief. The twisted tale of Dr. Klein and his monstrous transformation into his bucktooth mother would forever be etched in their memories. As Colt and Murphy stepped out into the rain-soaked streets of Noir City, they carried with them the knowledge that they had unraveled a dark secret, bringing justice to the bucktooth victims and closure to their families. Though scarred by the horrors they had witnessed, Colt and Murphy remained vigilant. They knew that the shadows of Noir City held many more mysteries, waiting to be uncovered. And as long as there were those who sought to prey upon the innocent, they would be there, ready to face the darkness head-on. If you enjoyed this story, click the thumbs up button and please subscribe to help the channel. Thank you.